Sandra, welcome to another episode, a new episode of Asexualise, My Asexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality and all things asexual. I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So subscribe and hit that bell icon right now. I'm back with my interesting fringe as usual that doesn't go according to plan. It's very hot in the UK, so probably won't see more fly away. Anyway, less about the fringe and more about Superman, because that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing a movie review about Superman, especially for you, with his flyaway cape instead of his flyaway hair. Can't be a bad thing. So, anyway, yes, Superman, I saw it at the cinema. I haven't been out to the cinema for like 5 weeks, so that has been really tough on me. I love the cinema to relax. My therapist, my physiotherapist, that is, has told me to do that as part of my pain management rehabilitation, is to go to the cinema because it helps me relax and chill out and therefore decreases my physical pain. So I'm going to be doing a movie review for you right now of the new movie Superman because I saw it earlier. And if you don't want spoilers, please do not watch this video because I am going to spoil it for you. And what I have to say, first of all, is the trailer does not do this movie justice at all. This movie is so much better than the trailer. Like, when I saw the trailer, I thought, this looks a little bit boring, but it's Superman. I like Superman, so I'll give it a watch. But when I actually saw the movie, oh my God, I thought this is just so much better than the trailer. The trailer just doesn't show a lot of the amazing stuff that's in this movie. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't even realize the Justice Gang was part of this movie until I actually got to see the movie. I'm like, hang on a minute, they got other superhero characters in this. I didn't even realize that from the trailer. All I saw of the trailer was basically Lois Lane and Superman mostly, and Lex Luthor. That was like the three main characters in the trailer. And it just looked very, and the dog, and it just looked a bit bland and boring, if I'm honest. But I'm like, I'll give it a go because I usually like Superman movies. But I was actually blown away by how good it was because they've taken like all the ingredients of a traditional Superman, of what people love about Superman, and they've like revamped it up to be very, very modern. So I really loved the way they did this. It's very stylistic, I thought, and it did have like all the ingredients, and there was enough action to keep the whole movie going throughout. I'd say it's not too much action. So in the sense that, you know, you could go to the toilet, have toilet breaks. I had 3, but you can get enough action to keep you going, if you know what I mean. So I like that. I thought it was a really good balance. I like the fact that Superman is already in a relationship with Lois Lane. I thought this is very good. There's none of that, oh, will they, won't they get together? They're straight in there. They're kissing in the beginning of the movie, which I really loved as a romantic asexual person. I love the fact they were like kissing really early on the movie. And it's good because you usually have to wait for the whole entire movie to get that kissing scene. Now, if you're an asexual who isn't into kissing, then you're probably like, oh God, this is a bit boring. But if you're a person who loves kissing, like I do, I'm a hyper romantic, then it's like, wow, they've put that in the beginning of the movie instead of waiting to the end to then to get together and kiss. It's like they're already doing that. And I thought that was really good. I thought that's quite fresh. It's rewriting Superman at a time where usually the other movies would have taken ages to lead up to that, and she wouldn't have known his identity. But in this, she knows he's Clark Kent as well, and they work together. So I really liked that about the movie. I thought it was fresh and really good. In the very, very beginning of the movie, Superman basically lost a fight, and the dog Crypto had to take him back to his Antarctica fortress where these robots, they got robots in the movie, which I didn't, I think I saw a little bit of the robots from the clip, but I didn't realize like how many like robots there were. So I thought it was really good. There's robots in it, and they basically take care of Superman in his Antarctica fortress. And when he's been in this fight, they have to use the sun on him to heal him. It's only like 83% healed in the beginning of the movie after the dog has dragged him back to the fortress. So these robots are quite cute, but they are saying that, you know, we don't experience emotions because we're devoid of emotions and stuff like that. So that's very interesting. And the main thing here as well is in the fortress, he likes to have a recording of his alien parents, if you like. They call him an alien in this, which I found quite weird. He's a meta-human, but they also refer to him as an alien. And maybe they do in other movies as well, but I don't recall that being as strong as in this movie. They call him a meta-human, which reminded me of Facebook, Meta with Facebook. I'm like, did Facebook invent him? And I found that bit quite funny. Meta-human. And then he's got alien parents and he's got adoptive parents on Earth. And so what's interesting about this movie is they've done slightly different angle where he's having this tape played back to him that his alien parents gave him. And well, it was like a message, about sending him into Earth. And so he's only ever heard half the message, apparently, because the other bit has been cut off all this time. So they play this tape, if you like, this kind of holographic thing of his parents, his alien parents, and that's meant to soothe him so that he is able to heal quickly because it helps him relax. So they're able to shine the sun on him and make him feel good. So it's kind of mentally preparing him as well as physically. But there's a twist on this, which I did really like. Now, I have to say, if we go to Lex Luthor now, the guy who plays Lex Luthor in this is absolutely amazing. I thought he fitted the part incredibly well. He's really, really good. And he's kind of like, you don't like him, but you kind of think he's really good at his part at the same time. I don't know how to describe it because he's younger and he's really kind of clued up with the part. I thought he was really good. I think he's my favorite Lex Luthor ever, actually, because usually I really hate Lex Luthors because obviously they're an enemy to Superman. But in this, he had kind of a very organized charm to him. I don't know how to describe it. And he was like very good at leading. And obviously he's not meant to be good in it. He's not meant to be a nice person in it. But there was something about him that I thought was more charming than the other previous Lexers. He's kind of like charming, but in a more, I don't know, composed way. It's like got this big Lex Luthor Corp like place, like it's like a glass building, like a glass tower, but it's all modern. And he's got all these people working for him on computers and that, but it's the way he commands things and everything. But I just really liked kind of the way they put him in this role. I thought he was really, really good at it, and I felt it added a lot of flavor to the movie. So the guy who plays Superman himself, he was really good. The person who plays Lois Lane is really good. I think they had got really good chemistry on the movie, so I really like that. And so what happens is he's obviously lost a fight, and the reason he lost a fight is because he was fighting someone to stop a country, like people invading a country basically and creating war. And so he did it so people wouldn't get killed. But what happens is Lex Luthor is behind this fight that he lost, and he basically makes out that Superman was there to actually do the killing and to harm people. So he sets up like this propaganda, this whole media thing where people think Superman is the enemy because he turns everyone against Superman with the media, not Lois Lane, but kind of the general public. Because what he does is he breaks into the Antarctica fortress, which only Superman's supposed to be able to get in there because Superman's like, got his identity. They need like his identity, his energy, or his DNA basically to get in the building with the robots that guard the fortress, right? With the dog Crypto. But Lex Luthor manages to get into it, and he has two allies. One is called the Engineer, and there's another one as well. I can't remember. I should remember what the other one's called, but I'm having to look the other one up. Ultraman. That's what I was trying to figure out. Ultraman. So these go into the fortress. The Engineer kills all the robots. Well, you see one later barely alive. It's still like moving when Superman eventually finds it. But it chops all these robots in half and slices them, and it's horrible. And they capture the dog. But before they go, the engineers said they gave up humanity to do this position. So I found that very interesting because from my understanding of that, it means this was a person who decided to morph into like an alien type robot in order to be able to serve humanity. So because they're warped, got a warped sense of like what humanity should be about, because they work for Lex Luthor basically. And so because they work for Lex Luthor and got a warped like sense of reality and purpose, basically they gave up, as far as I understand, they gave up being human in order to become the engineer, where they're like a robot, but they still got skin on them, and they have these great big like arms that suck in, that are like wires, you know, and the wires go into the system that Superman's parents, like holographic images, were linked up to. And what it reveals is they reckon they've decoded it. And the second part of the message is really shocking. Wait for it. It's shocking. Don't forget, if you don't like spoilers, do not watch more of this video. You're not going to like it, but do watch it if you've seen the movie already. So they find out that the second part of the message says that Superman is to take as many wives as he can on Earth to keep the Kryptonians race alive, and to basically be almighty, all powerful over humans. So he's set to rule humans and to take as many wives for himself as possible to keep their Kryptonian species alive. That's what they said apparently in the second part of the message. Now obviously it's Lex Luthor who's got the engineer to decode all this, so that the other half of the message is able to be available. And there's lots of experts that get in on the case, and they said, yeah, it's all legitimate. That's what actually Superman's alien parents said. And so I really love this part of the storyline because it's very different to what I've seen before. And it brings him closer to his birth parents, and his birth parents later on say, it's not about what someone tells you are in life, it's about what you choose to be. And if you know anything about me, I love to talk about the themes in movies. So this is one that really stood out strong for me as the main theme. Like, you choose your own identity. It's not someone else who deems it for you. It's not your parents or anyone else. It's you who tells you your own identity, and you who chooses what identity you want and how you want to live your life. Because as far as Superman was concerned, he was sent to Earth to serve humanity and to save them and to look after them. But according to the holographic tape, if you like, voice recording, that's not what his alien parents actually wanted. They wanted him to rule the Earth so that he could take wives for himself and populate the Kryptonian species to keep that alive. And so when Lex Luthor put that out, broadcast it all across the world, he was obviously shamed, Superman was. And everyone hated him, and because they no longer thought he was the hero, they all felt betrayed. Like, the public felt betrayed by Superman because they thought he was here to help, but according to the message, he was here to serve himself and to overpower and overrule humans. But that's not actually in his heart. That's never what he thought his alien parents wanted. And it's certainly what his humans, adoptive parents, want. So certainly not what they would want. So in the end, he decides to hand himself in, and because of Superman's powers, he can't just go to a normal prison. Lex Luthor has to get his Ultraman and engineer, basically, and all his like weird things he's got. He's got some weird, he's got some weird stuff going on. Anyway, he has to basically get people to get his creatures or whatever, to get his things, whatever, his creations, to put Superman in this prison. It's like a pocket, and it's like a black hole. It's like going through a black hole, and they're in this pocket in these prisons. So it's really weird, and there's lots of different people and things in these prisons because he's Superman. They know he's allergic basically to kryptonite. So they put him in with a prisoner that can morph himself into whatever someone wants. So this creature has morphed itself into kryptonite, and therefore Superman is in prison with someone who's basically killing him. But this creature's son is in one of the other cells across. And Superman says he can save him, but he doesn't believe him. And then what Lex Luthor does is Lex Luthor gets a prisoner, someone he took prisoner, and Superman knew this guy not really well, but he knew of him, and they had an exchange of something. And Superman really liked him, and he just shot him dead. That was quite horrible to see that. Lex Luthor just shot him really quickly. And so then this creature decided that he'd let Superman live and retract his Kryptonian that he'd formed with his own body, because he can morph into anything. And if Superman would save his son, which Superman did save his son. So there's a kind of side story going on to this before he even went to prison. This fact that there is the Justice League gang that comes in. So you've got Mr. Terrific in this, the Green Lantern, and you've got Hawk Girl, right? So you have scenes with them in, and they're really good scenes. But I think you should watch it to find out about that. But Mr. Terrific was in it a very lot. So I was quite surprised. I wasn't actually expecting those characters to be in there, because I thought Green Lantern wasn't good, but I got him confused with the Green Goblin, because the Green Goblin used to be against Spider-Man, was it? I was getting them confused with the Spider-Man trilogy, But anyway, I really like this storyline. I like the fact there was Mr. Terrific in it. There was a shooting scene where he was protecting Lois, I need to say fantastic, Mr. Terrific, because they have to go through the black hole to try and find Superman in this pocket prison, basically. And there was this really good scene with Mr. Terrific where he's just basically annihilating people. He's keeping Lois safe in this bubble while he's killing all these guards and people in the Luthor camp. So that was really interesting to try and get to Superman. So I really liked all this. But there was something, I'm like, oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. So I wasn't expecting the Justice League gang. So that was really exciting for me. I'm like, oh, there's some more superhero characters there. I'm really excited by that. I really liked it because I wasn't expecting that. But there is something I always love it when they do this, right? I kind of love it, but I hate it at the same time. So near the end, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this movie, spoiler alert, right? This is a big thing. But I have to share this with you because I'm so excited. Superman is playing a double part. They've got an evil one of him towards the end. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know this. I didn't see it coming. And so this is incredible. I love it when they had that Superman years ago. I didn't love it, but I did love it, if you know what I mean. With the Superman that was played by Reeves, Reeves died. Obviously, he was original Superman, but Christopher Reeves, but there was one Superman where Christopher Reeves had this other version of himself that was like an evil one. So basically Lex has made a clone of him. That's how he got into the fortress. And the clone does end up hurting Superman quite a bit at one point. They have this huge fight scene, a lot of fight scenes. And I really loved that. I thought it was really good because I didn't see it coming. I didn't even think about it. I think it's because the action's quite well paced in this. And so I was like, oh my God, they're having a massive fight. But you have to understand, again, spoiler alert, that this evil Superman does not die. This is very important, right? Very important for future movies. He doesn't die. Superman ends up putting him through a black hole, which means that he is still alive, which I'm guessing is what happens later in the multiverse. It means they can bring the evil Superman back. So you've got to make sure you see that bit of the movie, although I've obviously spoiled it for you now. I did say it was a spoiler because the evil Superman is not dead. He's just gone through a black hole. And as we know, when characters that are superheroes go through black holes, they then become in multiverses, usually in other parts of the universe, as their evil twin, if you like. So I found that really interesting. I think maybe we haven't seen the last of that character, but yeah, it's very, very, very interesting, because one of Lex's characters actually is that character, the evil Superman, but you don't find that out till partway through the movie, and I'm not going to tell you which character it is. So you don't, so maybe you don't know unless you've read the write up about it. So yeah, I was really stunned. I really liked it though. I loved the fight scenes. I thought it was really, really good. I would definitely recommend seeing this. I hugely recommend going to see it. It's much better than the trailer. The trailer does not do it justice at all, which is quite ironic considering the Justice gang are in it, but it just doesn't do it justice. It looked quite bland and boring, if I'm honest, the actual trailer, but it was a really good film. I loved it. I thought it had loads of really good ingredients in there. Everything a person who loves Superman's going to want to know. It had Superman's real parents, it birth parents, and that's who was reminding him that identity, you choose your identity. It's in your heart. It's who you are as a person. It's not up to your parents. It's up to you to live your life as you see fit, and what makes you happy and what's in your heart and how you want to be in life. And I think that's an important message for anyone and everyone, is to be their true, authentic self, no matter what, even if it's not popular sometimes, even if you might stumble and fall and, you're not going to lead a perfect life, lead a perfect life, or lead a perfect life in the end. But it's very interesting. So towards the end, Lex Luthor and Superman end up being in this office together, but Superman says why he's actually very human. So that's quite a good, interesting part. And he was saying that he's very human in the sense that he loves like humans do. He's kind like humans are. He cares about people. He has a heart like humans do. That way he's very, very human. And I think this is really good because this movie bordered on like meta humans, robots, like making someone who'd been human before give up their humanity to become the engineer. And do you know what I mean? It's kind of like where we're at this point in life, in reality, when there's AI and robots, and humans and robots will probably be merging eventually, although I don't want to talk about that because it's quite it probably put shudders on some people. But obviously at the moment, AI is AI, robots are robots, humans are humans. But as we already know, a lot of science fiction does eventually come true. So obviously I think it is going to be a lot more possible and a lot probably predictable that a lot more people in the future probably have human parts and robot parts. I think I don't like saying that because in case someone uses it in the wrong way, but you know what I mean. It'll be good for people who've lost limbs that they have more robotic parts. Do you know what I mean? But it's not always a good thing, is it? But I think the whole movie touches on that. It touches what is it to be human. I think that's a central theme to the Superman movie. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean? Because they're saying Superman's an alien, but he's also really human in the way he loves, in the way he cares about people, and in his heart. So it's kind of like thinking, what is a human being, and what would happen if someone did give up their humanity to become more of an alien or robotic creature? It's kind of like really blurring the lines between alien, robot, and human in this. I felt really kind of blurring the lines, but I think this is a sign of where we at in 2025, in the fact the world is changing more towards AI and robots. And it's kind of like, they're saying that humans given up being human, having a humanity of their own, if you like, giving up humanity to become more robotic and alien like, whereas the alien Superman is more human like. So I think it's a good juxtaposition. I really like that. I really love the scenes with Superman and his human parents. And there's a very big message in there at the end, which is basically the family is who we choose for ourselves, because his birth parents were not good for him in the end, which it seems like through this message, if it's true, which apparently is meant to be true. But his actual adoptive parents are ones who truly love and care about him and cherish him and who give him good advice, So I think this is important to be able to choose your family and choose which path you take in life. I think it's very central to all of us human beings that sometimes we don't land in the right spots in life, but we can make a good life for ourselves still. And I like the fact that when Lex Luthor and Superman were in the office together, and Superman was shown the fact, that he is human in lots of ways by the character traits he has, that he was also saying, that he's imperfect, he makes mistakes, he stumbles, he falls, he struggles to make the right decisions, to make the right choices. Every day he struggles. And I really liked the fact we saw the more humanity side of the alien Superman. Can you see how all these themes are crossing over? I love it when they cross over. It gives you really something to think about deeply. I love movies like this. And I think it's really good. And the only thing that was a little bit weird is Lex Luthor was crying in the end because he did the oops. And so, yeah, he was crying. And I'm like, I don't think I've seen Lex Luthor cry before, but I might be wrong. So it's very interesting, but not before the dog hadn't got hold of him, because, yeah, the dog gets hold of him, which is very interesting. There's a fight scene between Luthor and the dog, which is very brutal, actually, on the dog's part. So I'm laughing because obviously it's a CGI dog. They've CGI'd the dog. You can tell. That's the only thing I would say about the dog is you can tell that it's not a real dog. Well, obviously they've taken images and video footage of a dog, but they've made it so it isn't real. You can tell by the way its ear is and its paws flying through the air that it's like CGI, but based on a real dog, no doubt, or parts of a real dog anyway. But yeah, so I really liked the movie though. I thought it was really, really good. And there is 2 bits at the end, right? Which most people won't stay for. They definitely won't stay for the other bit, because the other bit it's after all the credits when everyone's left, but people were leaving anyway. So there's 2 bits, but unfortunately they're not very interesting bits. So they don't say Superman will be back. They don't really give that much away about a future Superman. So it's a bit disappointing that, but there's 2 little bits. So one is basically he's with the dog, but the dog isn't even his. He's a dog sitting it for his cousin, who does make an appearance in the very end of the movie. And then you see another bit where he's with Mr. Terrific, basically commenting that Mr. Terrific didn't put the building back together, because what I didn't tell you was basically Lex ripped kind of the earth apart, ripped where they are apart. So yeah, it's very interesting. I really loved it. There was some spectacular scenes when Lex literally ripped through the fabric of the earth, and all these buildings were like crashing down to the floor. They were all going sideways. It was spectacular, absolutely spectacular in terms of like filmography and the scenery and the way it was dramatic coming down and all the people there. I really loved it. I really did love it. I thought it has a loads of best bits of all the previous Superman movies, and it still keeps your interest and intrigue. And it's Lois who doubts that she can be with Superman throughout a lot of this movie. The only thing I would say at the end is like, he didn't have one mark on him at the end. I'm like thinking, you've just gone through all that stuff and you haven't got a mark on you. And then I'm thinking, but think of all the other Superman movies, he probably didn't have a mark on him at the end of them. So it's probably in keeping with the Superman movies. But I think I would have liked to have seen him more with a scruffy face at the end and, more unpolished version of him at the very, very end. But then it probably wouldn't have given a lovely love scene at the end that they had. So, yeah. It's very interesting. There's other characters in it. There's like a character who's works for Lex Luthor but loves Jimmy, or is basically not necessarily loves him, obsessed with Jimmy. And that's how they find out what Lex Luthor is up to and how they're able to clear Superman's name. So, but she's obsessed with Jimmy, who works in the office, and he's not really that interested in her. But lots of men would find her really attractive. So Lois is like, how do you get all the hot chicks or something like that? How do you get all the hot girls? And he's like, hot? he doesn't think of her like that. But I think by the end of the movie, he's a little bit more like, oh, I guess she is hot. But yeah, so I really liked it. I love the fact that they had other superheroes in the movie, which I wasn't expecting. But they still kept, they did show a lot of Mr. Terrific. I thought he got a lot of airtime, which was good, in terms of his character, I guess. But it didn't really overshadow Superman because he was trying to save Superman. But I just loved it. I think the Hawk Girl didn't really, Hawk Girl and Lantern were more like they did some action at one point because Lex did, he let loose this his men let loose this alien thing, and instead of it being really small, it was like massively huge, and that's when the Justice team basically ended up coming together, and not the Justice League, but there's like a Justice team. And they all got together and basically kicked the butt of this alien thing. But Superman wanted to save it and try and like find out what it was made of and all this lot. And they're like, we just need to get rid of it. So the Hawk Girl is a lot more not like Superman, because someone was saying, oh, you're just like Superman. She's like, I'm not, because she can kill. Whereas Superman wants to save the lives of people. He doesn't really like killing. He likes to like send people to prison if they've done bad things, or try and change their mind in the movie so you don't have to do this. It doesn't have to be this way. Whereas like Hawk Girl and the other characters, they don't really give a F. They just like, let's annihilate them. They're bad people. They're doing bad things. Let's just get rid of them. So I kind of like the contrast between the characters, the more wholesome and pure Superman, and then the other characters just like, yeah, well, we just need to get rid of them because it's not going to get better the situation. So yeah, I really loved it. Definitely recommend going and seeing it if you haven't already. If you have already seen it, I'd love to know what you think. Please pop it down in the comments below. As always, subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to give this video a like if you like this video, thumbs up. And if you like superhero movies, get this copy of, well, not this copy, get a copy of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. This is my personal autobiographical self-help handbook told in a superhero style. So this is how to have more energy, less pain, and feel happier like a superhero rock star. Basically, it tells you how to reduce pain in 25 aspects of your life. And it's a really good book. It's autobiographical, and it's aimed at people with fibromyalgia or who just want to change their life, basically, and have less pain. So it's good. But it's, if you just like personal stories, you'll love the book. And then Asexual Perspectives book, if you want to know more about asexuality, that's on Amazon. And Diary Confessions of a Hyperromantic Asexual. Again, this is autobiographical. So if you like autobiographical books, grab a copy of this. These are all on Amazon. Anyway, I love you. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so you never miss an episode. I'll see you soon next video live stream. Let me know what you think of the movie down in the comments below. Love you. Take care. Bye.